DJs. What's going on, man? Happy long weekend to everybody, man. We've been having some crazy weather. Yo, we're gonna get into it today, man. We got a special guest, man, brother that I've been known for like quite some time, man. Symbolik, legendary in the hip hop scene. Someone who's going to be speaking to us about NFTs and the whole digital space. I mean, you've probably been hearing about it, hearing about the blockchain, hearing about, all of these different things, man, crypto and all that good stuff. And this is like, I really see this as an opportunity for, artists and creatives to really, get in tune and just be informed with what's happening, man. So we're going to do our check-ins and, what I'm saying, we're going to be doing our thing, man. So I'm totally excited for this. His brother has a lot of news, man, so we're going to get right into it, man. It's going to be big. I'm excited for this, man. I love getting information. Yes, brother.
Salutes.
Yo,
how you doing?
Doing all right, man. I see you're outside, man, charging up the melanin, getting in tune.
We have a decent connection here.
Okay.
Looks like it might not be. Let me see if I can jump off.
Uh-oh. We got frozen, man. Well, hopefully we can get him back and get plugged into this space, man. See what we can do here. But we got that spinny wheel. Technology, man. Technology. Just when we think we're there, man, something happens. So let's see if we can get him back real quick. Oh, I think he disconnected and he'll just start joining us back with a deeper connection. Yeah, man. So for those who are just joining us, we got Symbolik one who is, legendary hip hop artist, innovator when it comes to just digital spaces. I remember several years ago, man, he was already on the whole, VR world and virtual spaces and just incredible. So I'm looking forward to just picking his brain and just seeing where he sees things and what could be added on, man. So yes, we got him back, man. So hopefully the Wi-Fi, the connection is plugged in and we're good to go. Yes, sir, man. How you doing, brother?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm doing all right, man. I was just outside earlier, man. Got some fresh air, you know what I mean? Like just keeping the energy circulating, because sometimes I feel like we're just indoors all the time and whatnot. So this is an opportunity, man, to just, get that flow. It's a long weekend. I mean, I'm not really sure what that means, Victoria Day or whatever, but we'll leave that for another day. But hey, man, at any time that we get off of, regular, just flow of things where we can kind of have time for ourselves, I think is, ultimately important, man. So we're here, man. We're here. We're just enjoying. Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. I hear that. The weather shifting up. That's such a good thing. On your show, this show, I've always really appreciated even your energy, how you roll, even your other show. It's like a grounding space. And I think being locked away inside is basically the opposite of that grounding. After a while, it feels imprisoning. I did a lot of walks last year, which was really, really a night. I felt like it was a good summer, but still it's framed in, this whole, pandemic time. So it is what it is.
No, that's really what it is, man. And that's a great reflection. And I think, to me, it's hip hop. Hip hop has always been a way of working through problems. I see hip hop as this problem solving type of element, you know what I mean? And we always find ways to create meaning, create connection, to just essentially do what we got to do, just to not only survive, but to exist, and then to really, share our gifts, you know what I mean? So I always, I find that, I always say this often, that hip hop has saved my life. And I mean that in so many aspects, you know what I'm saying? I could really break it down like a science, and, so everything I do is from a hip hop lens, no matter if I'm teaching their class or speaking at a university or just having a conversation, in the alleyway with some youths, it's all hip hop, man. It all connects, man, so that's what it is, man. But let's just get into our check-in, man. So how are you feeling on a scale from 1 to 10? Usually you're in the chats, adding on or whatnot, but now I got you here, building. So let us know, man, how you're feeling.
Yeah, definitely. But wait, where's the? Usually, you have some young people around as
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
right?
Yes, I
Not today.
usually have. Yeah, I usually have some folks, but I'm not sure if they're going to be able to. Like, I know they're saying that some stuff going on or whatever, but it's all
I
good. Like, we out here building, connecting and whatnot. So me, so we're still gonna.
right.
But yeah, man. So like, how are you feeling
Cool.
about this scale from 1 to 10?
I'd say I'm at like a 9, at about actually probably like an 8, 8.5 now because
Okay.
I woke up mad early, and then on this same tip, which I'll tell you more about this side of it, I
Yeah.
connected with a global hip hop crew,
Okay.
Nigeria to U.S., Africa. I'm sorry, across the map, and it's on the
Okay.
same blockchain, crypto space stuff. So I woke up mad early, and I was just like, let me listen to a couple of these beats because we're creating 404 introduction to 404 new artists that will all be minted tracks, NFT tracks to the blockchain. So we'll get into that. But my point of
Yeah.
saying that at this point is just like, especially with this lockdown and everything, motivation becomes an issue. Yeah.
Going on, guys?
We got
What?
special guests. Come on.
What you guys
Kem'Yah
doing?
in the house. Yes.
What's
Yes,
up,
we
Come
have
guys?
a
on.
brother.
I had to plug him
Yeah.
in, man. I had to plug him in.
Dope. Yeah,
What's up,
man. So,
brothers? What's going on? How's everybody doing?
Man, yo, we're just here, man. We're about to get started on today's topic with this NFT art,
and
digital
that's,
Okay.
spaces, all
yeah, we
these
just,
things, man. But before we get into that, man, we got to start off with our check-ins, to see how everyone's doing. You know what I mean? I know both of y'all, I know you very well for like mad years, you know what I'm saying? And now it's just
That's
to have my brothers here with me, man. So this is a family vibe, man. We're just building, connecting, sharing
that's
knowledge as usual. This is what we do. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. So
okay.
Kem'Yah, man, why don't you come in and let us know how you're feeling on a scale from 1 to 10?
Shoot, I'm blessed, man. I got no complaints. I'm kicking it with the fam right now. I'm trying to locate my church. Oh, there they are. I'm just trying to locate my kids. They're all over the place, but they're good. So
Yeah,
if they're good, I'm good.
yeah,
Happy
thanks,
wife,
man.
happy life. So
Come
I
on
can't
now, come
complain,
on.
man. I'm doing well.
True indeed, man. True indeed, man. Well, salute to you, man. Big up to everyone who's coming through in the chats, man. Let us know, man, how you're feeling as well on a scale from 1 to 10, man. 1 being not so great, 10 being amazing, man. This is like our Monday check-in every Monday at 11. You good, fam? Something that we just want to do for the community, just to put out there. You know what I mean? Like, because we realize that not everybody has these opportunities for meaningful connections. I mean, I know, like, I'm
Facts.
here with brothers Symbolik, Kem'Yah, like we stay having these conversations, and
Mhm.
I started realizing that it's a privilege. Like, I'm privileged to be around innovative thinkers and just great minds. We're always trying to like elevate. Not everybody's fortunate to be in those kind of circumstances, so we really want to
True,
create
true.
this accessible. So we have them live, and then we have the archives as well, so that people can tune in and what have you. So that being said, me, I'm feeling like 8.5. I mean, I'm feeling really blessed. Just motivated. A lot of incredible things are happening. Got a lot of things on the go. And
Mhm.
I'm just really interested in learning about, man, like this NFT space, the digital space, and what that means
Facts.
for creatives. Like not just art though, but just creatives in general. You know what I
In
mean? Like as
general, yeah.
educators, like what can we do with this? What kind of space can we build on? So I'm really excited to learn. You know what I'm saying? Let me just get into the chats, man. I see Tegan Davis, man, 9.5, man, beautiful day, man. Salute for coming through. Everybody else who's just joining us, man, let us know how you're feeling. On a scale from 1 to 10, 1 being not so great, 10 being amazing. Let us know so we keep this energy circulating as we move forward with today's topic, with this NFTs, man. Like, what are NFTs, man? I know people have been seeing it, hearing
Yeah.
about it, but yo, man, we got the brother Symbolik, man, who's gonna chime in and big up. You know what I'm saying? So
okay.
hold on, wait. We got some people's in the chat, man.
Yeah.
Shout out in mint condition. You know what I mean? Salute. Big up. Respect for coming through. You
Yeah. Shout
know
out
what I'm saying? We
everybody.
got Derek Asante, man. 8. Big up, brother, man. I see you. You know what I mean? They call me
They call me
Shells, man.
Shells
Big
on the
10.
street. Hey, that's what we
Come
like.
on, man. Big up to everybody, man. Respect for coming through. everybody's just joining us. I see some new people's coming through. Let us know how you're feeling on a scale from 1 to 10, man. You know what I mean? This is our virtual check-in. We want to make sure everybody's feeling blessed, feeling
Let me just
connected,
go on the
inspired. That's what's up, man.
Is your
You good?
I'm
You
on
good?
the roof. You can hear me. God, it's loud.
Brother, man. Family man. I love it, man. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
man.
Leading by example, man. I love that.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Indeed. All
I'm
right,
gonna go
brother, man. So,
outside
yo,
and enjoy it,
real quick, man. So Symbolik, man. Let's get right into it, man. So, a bit about, your, connection with these digital spaces, and then you can break down what NFTs mean. Like, what does that even stand for? I'm hearing it all over the place, and I know it's something interesting and fascinating, but like, what is it, yo?
Okay, so you want me to start with the NFT talk?
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, you can also give like a quick introduction, of yourself, a little bit about what you do, and you can get into the NFT talk. Yeah.
And we got into digital stuff through hip hop.
Okay.
I'm focused a lot on virtual reality. So basically, NFT is non-fungible token.
Okay.
So a fungible token is like the Canadian dollar, or a fungible is like a fungible commodities like gold. If you have one bar of gold, another bar of gold, who cares which one you got? If it's the same weight, it's the same value.
Okay.
So came around and basically shook shit up, and that's where there's an ethos of decentralization in the culture of Bitcoin itself and the coins that came after it, because they're saying instead of having a country that can determine things, instead of having a banker that's going to like decide how they're going to, what if you create the code and decentralize that code, so distribute it across the internet? So now if someone hacks one little part of it, the rest of them are always running, and they look over it and say, what's up with that one over there? Forget that. And they keep it going. Let's keep it going. So then, as per my knowledge and understanding, then Ethereum came next. And with Ethereum, they changed it and built it in different ways. And one of the big things, and I just recently came to understand this, is going to have a big effect and impact on artists, which is Web3. Have you heard of Web3 as of yet?
Nope, we have not heard Web3.
First time I hear it.
Okay, well, Web3 is, and I really didn't understand this principle until, well, I just heard Web3 and I said, let me look into this. So basically what Web3 is a distributed internet. So we have examples of it, like Napster back in the day, we got BitTorrent. Those are distributed internet. So like the reason why I can still go grab that movie is because when they land on that, they land at that, they can't go to the DNS and stop it. They can't go to one centralized place.
Right.
Because a bunch of people have little bits of this, and that's basically the principle of building everything out in Web3.
Okay.
And so building everything out, like down to, I know people are working on a Spotify, except it's owned in a distributed way as well. Yeah, man. And a lot of this technology is also built on open source. And so people building, and then they'll do, like, say, forking it. So if I'm not mistaken, Ethereum is a fork from Bitcoin, but whatever, forget about that. The bottom line, though, is that a lot of people can take bits of stuff and work, and it becomes standard if enough people start using it.
Right.
Yes. So so basically, the reason, and my brother, I don't know, I don't think he's in the house, but I got to give big ups to my brother, because he also gave me an additional push, saying that there's great opportunity in terms of NFTs. My brother, Sam, was saying, well, Bitcoin is a currency, but Ethereum is more like a commodity. And I was like, well, if you look it up, you see that it was just at like 4,000 USD to one Ethereum, and then there was a big like tank, a dip. Check this now. With the dip, a lot of artists are saying that's great. because what they call gas fees, it was so expensive to mint stuff that artists were, and sometimes you have to mint upfront, but sometimes others, like OpenSea is a place where they take the fee out after the fact.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, like it made me think about how gas prices went down and everyone rejoices, but then
Yes,
people
yeah.
who
No, I agree with you. The gas prices went down and people were rejoicing. People were happy.
right, but the people over in Alberta were like, they're like, no, this is terrible.
Right.
So like it's all a part of an environment, yeah, basically. And so with doing things with ETH, and we'll get into the creation side where it actually was hard for a lot of artists.
Okay.
Okay, what's up, homie?
What's up? What's up? I'm hoping the Wi-Fi connection is good.
Yeah, we got you, man. I just saw you in the chat saying like you're hoping you can jump on the call, saying that you've been learning.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, yo, man, let's just make this like a build.
Happen.
Yeah, I've been coming out to these sessions. This is probably like fourth or fifth one at this point. Every time I leave with something, like
Love
a lot of things, Fairfax from like I remember Don.
Yeah.
Or Trey. Yeah, he's the reason. Like he's one of my boys for time, and when I saw him on here, it just kind of brought me to the community, and then seeing boys like Raz, and then meeting the rest of y'all. It's really amazing place. Real talk.
I
Dope.
appreciate that, man. Yeah, man. So
Mhm.
as you know, like we're building on this whole like NFT, topic, and it's a really interesting space, man. So before I let Symbolik can continue with what he knows, I want you to jump in and share a bit about like what you've been learning.
So yeah, like I guess similar to Symbolik, or I guess to Symbolik's brother. I'm the oldest brother in my family. Me and my middle brother, my youngest brother right now, he's 20, turning 21 in October. And yeah, we've kind of been doing this crypto journey together. It's been something we've been hearing about. Probably the first time we heard about 2017, 2018, You hear about Bitcoin, At this point, when I started hearing about it last year, and actually looking into it and seeing that each Bitcoin was like 60K, 50, 60K, you hear about like, just after I got Coinbase, that's a platform I work off of. I
Right.
just pretty much, I haven't even been investing a ton, been just watching it, observing, learning more, because I feel like, it's a important step is to know the things that you're investing in, I didn't want to go through a broker, I also started learning about stocks just before crypto. I felt like stocks was like, when you think of it, it's like, the thing that's been here kind of the longest, and it's in a sense has that kind of like credibility attached to it. In the last year, you've seen what's happened to crypto,
Right.
I've known people who like mined crypto and who've been investing in crypto for time, My girlfriend, her sister, is a crypto accountant.
Okay.
Once I heard that was a job, I was like, oh, this crypto got to be a real thing.
Right.
I heard this probably like, last year, the year before.
Right.
They pretty much do accounting online, have a full online business, work from wherever they want. Crypto accounting. And I was like, okay, so I'm going to start looking into crypto. You hear about Bitcoin? And like you said, Ethereum, comes next. I think Bitcoin was the first to kind of utilize that blockchain technology that we were talking about. That was like kind of that the ownership of the coins, first it was Bitcoin. Ethereum allowed it to be so you could own the coins, the Ethereum coins, but you can also get the non-Fungible tokens, the art, and you can also save apps onto Ethereum,
Right.
which people don't know. There's many different cryptos besides Bitcoin and Ethereum. They're the biggest, but like I said, 50, like tons and tons and tons of them. But yeah, like I said, there's a dip. There was dips recently, compared like to how it's been going up. It's been going up exponentially, it seems, like in the last year, if you look at the trend. And that's, for me, seeing that, it seems unsustainable, How long can it go? Right. Necessarily, but at the same time, that's I guess, more opinion, you know, in the future. You know, I've heard those realities.
You know, like that's just the kind of space that we're in, you know, like people often compare it to like the beginning of the internet. You know what I mean? Like when the internet was just starting, people were like, you know, like people at the beginning, you know, like people were just like, like, what is this going on? Or even making online purchases, like typing your credit card in a computer. I mean, now that's regular, you know what I'm saying?
It's regular, yeah.
It still is in this space, man. But let me go back to like Symbolik, man, because like you're like, you know, like you're creating NFTs, and I know that you have some projects that you're ready to release, and why don't you share like why this is like important for you, like, you know, why you're getting into it early, like why you're jumping into this.
So when I was looking at it, you know, I had a bit of a, I mean, I look at things in a critical way, and I had a bit of a skepticism because, you know, we're told when the, you know, the digital age was just about to pop, it's like everything's going to change. It's going to be, you know, even with Facebook, he's like, it's going to connecting the world. It's always optimistic like that. And so, you know, and so what I did notice, though, one thing that was democratized in terms of technology was like magic. We remember the days when you had reel to reel, when you're recording hip hop, you're like on reels and you had a certain amount of tracks, or if you want to do a fly, a certain amount of cut things out and you print that, but you can only go so dates. But of course now, knowing the digital age today, snap your fingers, you have like an entire other track. You have another image exactly like the so like this is the terrain that we're talking about, and I wondered, well, are we just tying ourselves back into an economic system that maybe we should be like this? Maybe the technology is showing us that things could be abundant. Like I imagine that, what if food could be replicated, like actually very healthy? Let's just imagine like an experiment. And if we could, but if we say just because we want to tie ourselves to a system, we say, well, we've got to make it have a rarity. So that is the thing that I've been wrestling with around this. But come to find out that it doesn't necessarily mean that you can't replicate. The NFT is just a representation of ownership. So you kind of create the like you can put it out there into the world, and especially you can bake in the terms around your work. And so the thing, I saw someone talking about this, and I really like this because they got into NFTs because they're saying once you put something on the blockchain, they say it's immutable. It's verifiable, it's immutable. There's another one. I don't remember it right now, but it's verifiable. So you could say, like, imagine if they had blockchain when like rock and roll was first invented. And so this other guy I was mentioning, you know, that where we've been muted out of histories, we've been muted out of things. But if it's on the blockchain, and that's where I actually the piece that I'm dropping is called Toronto Memories and Moments, and and it stemmed out of my previous work. Like I was racking my brain, like how do I don't draw. I like my draw. If I work on a project, like I'm going to be dropping an NFT eventually that is my track that I had in a Nintendo DS video game and Sony PSP video game. But I didn't get nothing for it. I was just working. I was doing level design on this game, and I was doing quality assurance. And so what happened with this one back then was that they basically, like, it wouldn't have been in the game, but oh no, they had a guy, Atari was the publisher, and they went and they said they had someone to do the music. But it turns out the guy wasn't able to do it. So now they're looking for someone with music, and I'm like, I got somebody. That's when I hollered at Nia, Master Nia from Crazy Mental Productions. So he ended up doing the music for the game, and I on the side wrote rhymes to this track, conceptualized this whole track with sound effects and stuff like that from in the game. It's this ninja surviving. It's called Ninja Killer. And so now with NFTs, not only there's this interesting backstory around this piece of art, but I bring that up to say I was like, how do I like pull this off? Like, what are the rules of NFT? Like, can you just grab some art from other people? I went online. I was like, what do you feel about, you know, doing that? And
Right.
people are like, oh, it was a mixed. And I was like, okay, I get that, but wait. One person said it's not that original or creative. And I said, well, what about hip hop? Hip hop sampling is in the core of it. And so it's, you know, it's this kind of gray area, but I ended up connecting with an amazing artist. I saw his work. He did a video, what did he call that? Anime. And I was like, yo, would you be interested in this? So this guy's in the States. So this speaks to like the nature of things, like also in the digital space, like the other project I was mentioning, people are all over, right? And able to to produce. So anyways, I knew that was coming, but it's going to take a long time. So now I'm still back thinking, what can I do? And I wanted to do something around my 360. And so then it dawned on me. And so what what I ended up doing, and if you look on my profile, you can see the early releases, the early not iterations, because I basically went through and I've done a bunch of these moments where I frame a 360 shot, and in that way you can stylize it so you kind of feel like you're looking in 360 directions, and I warp between me pointing the view at certain things, or trippy kind of effects that bend things up, or the full view, or turning around. So you feel like you're floating and looking around the scene. And no, I haven't seen anything like, let me hook up that and get on the blockchain. So again, like, imagine back in the days, if those founders of jazz, I know people work in jazz departments in university. I think we got on the line right now. But anyways, Natasha, if you're there, peace. And you don't see like at anywhere near proper representation, so we've been muted out.
Right.
But if it was on a blockchain, an immutable system, then we could say, okay, well, who owns that? Where did that go? Where is it now? Things like that.
Wow, that's powerful, man. Yo, like, I just want to go shout out Kem'Yah, man. It's like, you hearing all this like NFT business, like where do you stand with this, like with your art form, your creativity and whatnot?
Truthfully, I'm just really learning about NFTs, like really as of recently. Like, one of my boys, shout out to Tonic, he's an artist as well. Like, he's I say he's a genius, genius level thinking, that guy. Like, he's very innovative. He's always ahead of the curve. You get what I mean? Young cat too. He just turned 25, so shout out to him. Like, he really put me onto the NFTs, and he's just like, with your brand and your music and your message, like you gotta get on that. And so I'm at a place right now where I just I feel like I just want to build my brand a bit more, and build my following a bit more, because I don't see the sense in putting out an NFT and I don't really have anybody to support it. You get what I mean? So until I reach, I guess, the plateau that I desire to reach, then I can really start focusing on really putting out more NFT type of content, whether it's just music, videos. I got documentaries that I've shot that I haven't released yet, right? Like that depict my journey from way back when we were at, like, when I was coming to Manifesto, from like just my journey, like from church to coming out of prison to being in the streets, getting married, so on and so forth, right? But it's like, as much as the content is original and it's unique, and whether we want to, I guess, dub it, I guess, creative, or whatever you want to call it, inspirational. Like, if I don't have anybody to appreciate the work other than myself, right, or maybe like my niggas from the block, right, and like not to knock the man from the block, but like man are not the type to really purchase things like that, right? They don't buy music. They're not gonna go out of their way to buy NFTs unless that makes sense to them on a street scale. You get what I mean? And so before I can make that a reality, I just really want to build more. You get what I mean?
Yeah. That's what's up, man. Yo, shout out Raz Fresco in the building, man. Like, yo, like, this is one dude who's like super creative, man. Always innovating, man. I would love to get his perspective on NFTs, man. I want to see if if he's able to, jump in at some point. But just like send like a message in the chat, man, if you're open to that, man. I'll see if I can get you plugged in. But yeah, man. Like, no, it's creative, man. So yes, my brother, man. So yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Yo, okay, yo. So I just had something just to add on there because I do like believe that NFTs, like I feel like they can change the game, and especially where they can evolve too, because it's definitely, especially at this point, we haven't seen where it can go
Right.
nearly, the
Mm-hmm.
amount of creativity that can be expressed through these things, the ways it can be used to like help artists. Like I heard just recently, probably over the last few weeks, like people talking online about in the future having NFTs that come with tickets.
Yes. Yeah.
Tickets to concerts, or having the tickets themselves be NFTs.
Right.
Yeah, there's so much you can do with it, man. Like even my boy Tonic that I was mentioning, he was showing me where he created kind of like a virtual world, like an NFT where it's like you can go into his, it's like you're going into his mind. It's a virtual world.
Yeah.
You see like his art on a
Mhm.
virtual wall displayed, whether it's music. It's like a museum of his creativity, but it's all in this like digital online space that he
Yeah.
created as an NFT. You know what I mean? And like
So,
I think that's genius. You know what I mean? For
yeah.
like people who have no idea like what he's about, you purchase that NFT, and it's like now it's like you have an avatar inside of his world. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's crazy, man.
That reminds me of Decentraland. I'm not sure if any
Okay.
of you have heard about this.
I've heard of
Yep.
No, I
Decentraland.
did.
Why don't you speak on that, man? Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, so that reminds me of what your boy might be talking about. It's essentially a world, I'm pretty sure, that was made on the Ethereum blockchain.
Yep.
Yep.
And they made this game and sold plots of land in this game. Like,
Yep.
their time ago, people were buying them for like 5K, 10K. Now, there's like companies, full companies buying, plots of land for like hundreds of thousands, and
Yeah.
they see these things like an investment. When I heard like, you know, plots of land, like the whole thing being sold for millions, I was like, people are investing in this like real estate. I'm like,
Exactly.
And there's a
it made
couple
me
of those.
realize how much money people just had.
Right.
Real
Yeah.
talk.
Right?
That's the thing that really made me realize. But
Yeah.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
sorry, before we continue, okay, I know a bunch of people that's joined us, man. For those just joining us, man, we're talking about, NFTs, digital spaces, the blockchain. Like, y'all probably been hearing about crypto and all these, things that are going on. And we're really trying to, really wrap our heads around, like, what this means for artists, for creatives, for content creators, and what
For
this means
black
just
people.
for, sorry, for black people, man. Like, a
Nice.
lot of the stuff that we create, things have been stolen, have been remixed, and we haven't been
Yeah.
credited.
Yeah,
And this
man.
is an opportunity for all that to be like really like documented and monetized and to see it grow and to be sustainable. So that's exactly what we're talking about right now. I mean, if you have any knowledge on the on the blockchain or NFTs, please share that in the comments as well. But yes, man, we got a brother those Symbolik, who's already creating NFTs and moving forward in that space. So yes, brother, man, go ahead, continue.
So, well, one thing that I want to talk to is, so I got to give big ups. Peso or Cecil, he was on here, so big ups. He put me on to black NFT art. And when
Okay.
I connected with him on Twitter, and then I connected with the the, the people who well, I've heard them on Clubhouse, then the people that they affiliate with, I felt like I found like, but actually, like, the internet got better for me. Just the internet in general. So when I was listening to them speaking, you realize, yeah, if you just drop your NFT, you got to have community,
Right.
and if
Right.
you right,
Speak
and
on
so
that. No, speak on before you continue. Speak on the value, like the importance of that. Dropping it, because you can just drop an NFT or whatever. But where does community come into that?
Yeah.
like you got to do events, you got to do drop events. They call them drops. Vandal has been he got me into the very first NFT that I did, but I didn't really have a community like that, and
Yeah.
so the concept itself, like, me, I like to go on some like conceptual. It didn't end up being the concept that, like, so I was kind of like, it's just my face. It ended up being a picture. It had some effects that were ran because it was a really interesting project. I was paired with a Russian artist named Alex Shell, and so in short, I'm like, okay, so what can you draw? And he's like, I don't draw. I'm like, what? Because I was contributing to track. And so then he's like, oh, I do procedural art. So I like had to rack my mind around it. So then I said, okay, well, if I give you a video that I created, which was a 360, can you run it through your program? Just throw it, put it in that program. And so he did that. And so you wouldn't know what it was. And it started into overtime you'd see. And I was like, okay, that's dope. And I thought it was going to be that as the NFT, but I was also learning, like, what are these NFTs? So it turns out at the time, especially, and less so over time, there was a limit in space as to the file that you can associate with the NFT, right? And so they threw a picture of my face, and I was like, come on, dude. But it still does have the same effects in terms of marking that moment in time. If someone says, when's the first NFT? It's like, it's right there, and I can prove it, like late last year. So that is, but the community now, so like you go into Black NFT, you got people like this guy named Kwame Michael. This was funny, too, because jump on the Clubhouse, I'm Kwame Symbolik. He's Kwame Michael. So I jump in and people are like, Kwame's here, and I'm like, I'm Kwame Symbolik. So I made a lot of friends really fast in that space because I was already kind of familiar. Interestingly, with an African, name, which was, and that's the type of space it is. Though you'll find a Kwame, you have people from Zimbabwe, from Nigeria, from the UK, from on and on and on. When you drop something, someone is familiar with you. Someone cares. Someone will retweet. And we've talked about this logic. Like, that's the place I want to get to where we can move en masse. Yes. And it's very important because people can basically shut you down. They can flood you on the internet. It can be a hostile place because, the internet is not like a cultural mask with the ankh that my brother's wearing there, but the internet has the kind of mask, right? Well, it's the kind of mask where they're more like the hoodie, the Klansman type of mask where they hide behind it and try and light you on fire. That's what I say is the importance that we need to really team up, be ready to support and so forth. And they've been doing that. So when I walked in, I saw, that's how these guys are rolling already. So that was mad. I always tell people, check out Black NFT art. I found a guy online, a sister who does amazing. Tayo does this amazing artwork where I realized it was only this one time we were on the Discord and she says, well, what should I do with this piece? And she's showing us her drawing right in front of us on her Discord. And then that's kind of new to me. I'm like, I'm poking around. So now I'm learning how that works and so forth. But people are full on using their Discord for so many things. And in this case, this brother who was there, who turned freaking guru, he says, it's Haitian, not Haitian appreciation, it's Haitian month. When I tell this story, it's Haitian month though. It's the month to remember and appreciate Haiti. So he said, maybe use Haitian colors in this crazy character that she's designing. She said, how many eyes should I have? And, doing this interactive creation of this NFT that she then dropped. And so turns out this guy, now he's telling me about a part of this Web3 thing with DNS. DNS, the way we search things, where you have .ca, what they decide what they're going to. It's an organization. It's centralized. In Web3, you're going to buy, logic, and you could have whatever .logic, right?
Okay.
And no one will take you down because it's it's distributed.
Right.
Across.
No, that's a really interesting point, though. You know what I mean, about the centralized and decentralized, right?
And decentralized,
whatever. That's under a certain bracket. If they want to shut that down, they can. But you're saying with this new space, it's that's my own world. It's like my own digital real estate in a way.
From what I'm understanding, it's much harder, basically impossible to shut down. So you can't be censored. Basically, it's your world. You can do what you want.
And that's where this
for
music.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm saying that's where it comes in big for music too. You know, one of the last things I've heard also over the last couple weeks is, you know, think of, you know, talking about the voices being silenced in times where, you know, our people weren't played on the radio, you know,
Right.
we're being signed to labels, which was the only path to get to a thing, you know, and now people are being able to be independent and now going through apparently different platforms that utilize blockchain. They can have different ownership of like beats
Exactly.
and,
It's
and
crazy.
everything, you know.
Changes the game completely. Especially for somebody like me, right? Like I don't get radio played because of the content of my music, right? Like it's not that my music is like it's wicked or evil in the sense, but it's the content is provocative for people who are not very familiar with contextual African history, with African spirituality, with contextual like street shit. You get what I'm saying? Like so like and I don't censor my music. I don't make quote unquote clean versions of my music because like it is how I created it, right? I don't want to make a clean version because then it's like, well, then what was the point of creating it in the manner in which I created it, right? But if I have a space where it will not be censored, where I can give my music out freely how it was created, you get what I mean? And now people can appreciate it for what it is without any form of control, whether it be labels or radio or quote unquote gatekeepers. That changes the entire game. You get what I'm saying?
Big fact.
And what I wanted to just, and you I think you're the perfect example on mass. Though the important thing, I think it goes back to that community thing, because that they will still pour a bunch of money into spaces in this decentralized world, and just, you know, like think BET to hip hop. Like, we created hip hop. It was supposed to be an answer, and it is. It's not that it's not. It's like, it is. But if we don't know, then we go and follow them doing whatever, you know. Meanwhile, it's like, no, decentralized. But then we know we know where who we are, where we should go for our culture and so forth.
Yeah.
Facts. I agree.
So one more thing. I want to. Oh yeah, sorry. Were you gonna say something?
Oh no, I said yeah. That's it.
Go ahead.
Okay, so when I was on Tayo damn shoelaces is her thing. Super dope. Where's she at? Somewhere in the States. And so I met this brother who was dropping the gems, for example, decentralized domains, or I'm sure there's a proper name for that. But then I was racking my mind on something that Jay introduced me into this near thing, and I'm writing this proposal. It's for a DAO, and I'm gonna want to talk with you guys, because so when I'm like, is this a good idea? Like a DAO. It's called Black Love, and I'm working out right. I'm still writing it, but I'm also like, what really is a DAO? So talking with different people, getting a knowledge of what it is. It's like a decentralized, autonomous organization.
Okay.
Say that one more time.
Decentralized autonomous organization.
Decentralized autonomous organization. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Break that down for us, man, because that sounds, from like a Stolen from Africa perspective, man, that sounds very intriguing to me, man. So we'll break that down.
It is very intriguing, and it can be basically whatever it's created for. So the first DAO that I read about was the goal was for trading. So they set the parameters, and the human beings will vote around like what the DAO can do, and then it goes and it does things. In that case, there was a weakness in the code, and there was a problem with it. So, but since then, other DAOs, and as Dave, which I give mad big ups, the brother that I was on Tayo's Tayo Damn Shoelaces Discord, and I said, well, you know, I'm thinking about doing this DAO, and what I want it to do is, the process I want it to automate is incentivizing people doing positive things for Black creative community. And so it could be like set a task, and then so now we can get into stuff like tokens and rewards, where you say, okay, like people are saying, let's come to my thing, and you get a token or reward or whatever. But what if or maybe participate like I did. The only bit Ethereum that I got was because I was a part of that thing, and then they dropped, and I got 0.25. A month ago when I checked it, I'm like, what, $1,000? But now it's like 400 again.
Right.
But when you're actually using it as a tool, it changes it very a lot. Anyways, so I want to DAO. I'm running this idea by him, and he got like, that's great. They're using this protocol. That means you can do this and it can work. And I'm like, good to know, good to be connected. Again, community. If it wasn't for that community, so the DAO. And I said, well, I read about this other DAO that didn't work. But are there DAOs actually? Because people will, things can be a DAO in name. And for example, the week when I was on the Discord with Tayo Damn Shoelaces, someone jumps out and says, "Oh my God, such and such sold a piece for $2 million," and we're like, "Oh shit!" We're talking about is a black woman.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was
I love that, man.
by a DAO.
Wow.
Okay.
Right.
That's crazy.
So it's people coming together to do something, but then ultimately, a DAO proper is supposed to then automate a thing. So imagine do a track with, you get what a reward, like whatever, it could be an NFT, it could be a token of some kind. Like I think about how military guys, when they do certain things, they give coins. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of that, but they do that. And if someone shows a coin, it tells them like you've been there or whatever. So I just, and I got a coin from a Ryerson guys that they were, and I knew about the story of I knew where they came from. So I just thought about these things and thinking, whoa, because I was very confused about the incentivization. I was like, oh my God, people are excited to me, and I'm like, I'm gonna start an economy now, jeez. But when I started to think about the need, and I was like, holy shit, if we can have an artist from, just say you're gonna get rewarded for doing a song with an African person on the continent and a diasporic African, or from different genres, or an elder from one generation and another. And so the DAO will come together to say, what are all these rewards? I'm not going to think of all of them, but it's like, that's the direction of what I'm thinking Black Love DAO will be. And then we'll say, okay, structure. When you do this one, then it unlocks a next one and says, you got a challenge. And so, but DAOs are general. They're for different things. But that's what came to my mind, what I was inspired around it. Like those things that I've been saying for a long time. It's like, oh, why? It's not just. I mean, we should be doing intergenerational, or we should be. But I'm like, okay, maybe this is a mechanism that can help to make that into a process.
Yeah, no, I really see the potential of it, and to an extent, like we kind of are already in motion of these things, but this just kind of really like, it makes it tangible. You know what I mean? It takes it from this like abstract theory to make it like something really practical that we can actually like really build on, and it's it just seems like a really like seamless, well maybe not seamless, but just a real more like organized way of like bridging these gaps and making connections. So. Right off the top, man, I'm like, like Stone from Africa is down. Like, I feel even just like us on the call right now, like, can put something together, man. There's a lot of creativity right here, that we can build on and just experiment. So it seems like it's it's a really good time to be experimental. It's a really good time to be a creator.
Absolutely.
I'll share what I'm working on, because I'm thinking okay, are they gonna, because they're gonna pay in near to support it. And that's where this, as a commodity, it's at being near. So, like, I'll say it's going to take this amount of time or these things. Right. Near is like 5 to 1 right now. So one good thing is it's run like open source and all of that. So it's on. But my thing is, okay, do I go in and then I don't know for sure. I know some of my people, the people I've been exposed to in this area, like, for example, the 404 crew that I joined, this worldwide hip-hop blockchain crew. I know, like, I can get a sense from the people in my area, but I'm gonna submit this DAO, and then hopefully it's gonna go through. But regardless, it's so like, okay. So the way I'm looking at it is, I want to like get like 500 black people who are on our tip, and who are either creative or, and it doesn't have to necessarily all be black people in my particular view,
Right.
but it would have to be the vast majority, and it's 100%. You need to want to help, and we, you know, like, it's not like, oh, we should be doing this. This is the goal of this DAO, Black Love. So,
Got it.
so yeah, there's that near is the currency. And so what I'm saying is, if we can onboard, is what that's the term they use. If we onboard our people, but we're getting onboarded in little specks here and there, and we're like, I'm like, if we come en masse, then we can do what we want, and we'd be able to say, okay, this is what we want. What do? Yeah, we're in agreement. That's what I want.
You know, big up to everyone who's been joining us. You know, I see some people
Big
coming
up.
through, and you know what I mean. So we've been talking about NFTs, man. Like, this digital space is coming up, man. The blockchain, like, decentralizing, you know, just like art, and, you know, and finding ways that we can like really like own our stuff, you know. And there's a way to do that. Like, you know, this is something that's really new, fresh. You know, like I mentioned before, it's often when people talk about like the beginning of like the internet, you know what I mean? It's like trying to describe like what's happening now back in '97. You know, people would be like, "What are you talking about?" You know what I mean? Or like trying to describe like Netflix to Blockbuster in the late '90s. You know what I mean? And like, Blockbuster's like, "What are you saying? Like, we're running the things. Like, get out of here." You know. But when you check it out now, like,
far, right?
Can't see you. You know what I'm saying?
That far.
So
I was
that's
talking to one of my
really
homies the other
exciting.
day.
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
Sorry, I interrupt, but I was just saying, you don't even have to think that far. I was talking to one of my brothers the other day, and you know, he was just saying, like, could you imagine in 2004 talking about a new type of currency and it's digital, right? I'm like, yeah, no one could really like fathom that in 2004. You hear what I mean? Like cryptocurrency in 2004. Man would have looked at you like, what are you talking about, bro? Get out of here. You know what I'm saying? Like, my cash is just fine. I don't want to hear about digital currency. Like, even just the concept of PayPal, right? When that came out, people were like, hey, what are you talking about? PayPal? Pay who? What are you talking about? I don't want to do that, right? But it's like, you know, that's evolution, right? Like, you want to be part of evolution when it takes place, right? You know what I mean? You don't want to end up like, you know, like being part of something after it's already taken off and something new is already coming. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. No, I think.
Quick response is, again, I just want to beat down again community, because at least then if you have your peoples, maybe you're on this thing, but you know that when it's time to switch fast, because things are moving faster and faster every day. So I just want to go back to that, like being able to you know, come together and have community helps with that, because someone who's on that niche thing, like, you can call me and I'll be like, this is what I've learned about it. Things are going fast. And by the way, if you're getting into it now, you know, everyone that I talk with is like, oh, way back in January, way back in February. Like that's like old schoolers are last year. So you don't even need to feel too bad if you're like, oh, I'm just new. It's like, yeah, everyone is new. So anyway, sorry, Logic. I'm done.
No, I think like why people like, you know, it's difficult to like fathom this is because we've never really like experienced this type of freedom, you know, like this ability to like really like take control of our narrative and our creations and just like, you know, our lives. Like when we're talking about like, you know, like generational wealth and like thinking about, you know, 7 generations ahead, like just like African indigenous cultures, you know, like we've been so conditioned to fit in this box. Like, you know, we're born into a system and this is just how it operates. Now it's just like kind of like, yo, like it's the wild, wild west. You know what I mean? Like we can create our realities. And I think for a lot of people, like that's a challenging space. But this is where hip hop, you know, I always go back down to the hip hop foundation, right? Because we're always about that. Always making, you know, adding 0 + 0, making 1, like, you know, creating our own space, you know. So that's what makes it really, really fascinating. You know, and I think sometimes, like, you know, we're even, you know, a little like fearful of our own power because we never had the opportunity to really put it out there. You know what I mean? Because anytime you shine a little too much, you already know when they cut the lights out. But now it's just like, wait a minute, what? I can free up? Yo, man, like, you understand what I'm saying? So
I think we're more afraid of the freedom than the actual ability to do with the freedom, right? Like, we're not really accustomed to having that kind of freedom. You know what I mean? Like the freedom to express, the freedom to say what we want to say without fear of being policed, the freedom to do what we want to do without fear of being, I don't know, blackballed or whatever the case might be, right? So it's like because we've never really experienced freedom in the way that maybe other cultures or other peoples have, right? Like that's what frightens us. You know what I'm saying? Where like we might not admit it and we might not even be aware that that's what's frightening us, but it's like, yo, shit, did I just really do that? And like, oh, yeah, I did that, and I made a bag off of it. Is this legal? Is somebody gonna come knock? Like, cause I made like this is a lot of money, and I did it by my. I don't know, man. Like, maybe I should just relax first. Maybe I should sit back. You know what I mean? But like, now's not the time to. Now is the time to like keep the door down. You get what I'm saying? Bring everybody in and bulldoze that shit down. You know what I mean?
Indeed, man. And there's strength in numbers, you know what I mean? And like, well, I mean, to be more specific, like there's strength in like having the right minds together, right? Because we're not
right minds. Yeah.
Grab everybody, and we've been there, done that, tried that all day, you know what I mean? But now it's really about being strategic and aligning the right energy, you know what I mean? We got to have that synergy, that flow, and then we build, man. So a lot of like what, you know, like Symbolik was talking about, I'm definitely on board and, you know, contributing to that. I'm going to be brainstorming some ideas and see like what this means for Stolen from Africa and how we can just really expand and just add on, right? Because our whole like motive is all community based, man. That's why everybody's on the call right now. You know what I mean? Like we're on a certain alignment. Let's just add on and build and you know keep it going. You know, so in a way, like the way how I've always viewed Stolen from Africa was already decentralized, like anyways. You know what I mean? Like I don't really see myself as just like the guy or whatever. I'm like, yo, like if you're aligned with this and you are Stolen from Africa, this is what it is. This is like our business. And let's build on and add on, you know what I mean? So I'm really excited to see what the future is, man. Yo, man, so it's exciting, man.
Yeah. The last thing I wanted to run by y'all, I just heard my voice back, it messed me up. But on NFTs, and it's a question, I guess, and just like almost something I want y'all to sit with, you know?
Yeah.
But something I've been thinking of is how people interact with NFTs. You know, I saw for the first time the other day an actual gallery where they had the little screens and NFTs on the screens, you know? And when you think of it, the whole time when I first started learning about NFTs, I was like, what am I going to do? Just look at it on my computer? Can I look at it through my phone? You know, what ways can you interact with them? That's Decentraland is an example of that for me. People build these art galleries so you can walk through it with your little character and see all the different art, you know? But if you can have those in your house, you know, as a poster thing, and that's where like this crypto lane opens up a whole lane for entrepreneurs too, you know? If you can really, you know, see those things that take to that next level.
Yo, it's just to add to that, I mean, there is like a few other spaces that exist like that, you know, but I am really just in Decentraland to see what that looks like. But not just like with like art and whatnot, like imagine like school. You know what I mean? Like my daughter be playing like Roblox all day, man. Imagine like your little avatar and you're going to school in Decentraland or whatnot. You know what I mean? This is like the new way of how we're being educated. You know, homeschooling is happening. Like, you know, like physical schools are not really where it is. It's kind of up in the air, being accustomed. Like, and what's like the next level? You know what I mean? So,
I homeschool my wife and I homeschool, right? So like, just like being able to homeschool in that manner where I could put my daughters my daughters would have an avatar in a digital space where they're like that would change the whole game. You know what I mean? Like it's just like it's not just limited to art, right? There's so much you could do with an NFT.
Yeah, and take in like just basic knowledge, you know, like saving knowledge on blockchain. Just recently, I heard these guys got like I think thousands of Trump tweets, made NFTs of them, sold them, and used all that money to go back to charities. NFTs that were like specific to a certain people would go to those charities, you know?
Wow.
But
that's insane.
that was also like history kind of encapsulated. And when you think of it, it's like, you know, maybe in the future they might have classes that are like on blockchain, you know? And that are actually be passed down for real. Like you take a class in university, you can't pass that to your next generations unless you're talking it, you know? But Yeah, how blockchain to me, what it represented, especially when I was learning about Top Shot with NBA, and what they're doing, like relating Top Shot to trading cards. The Top Shot, they appreciate. I can't like throw them around like I did, my Pokemon cards when I was a kid. They stay there, but they're saying with this blockchain is these things are going to be here for time, and you'll have control over where these go, and yeah, knowledge, saving that in these blockchains, who knows, having a virtual school, kids love games. I don't know, I might love to learn through a game. I'd love to
Especially this newer generation, right? Because they've been exposed to so much technology as opposed to like at least my generation, right? Like my generation, like we're accustomed to going to libraries, books, and all that. But this generation, like their education is digital. You know what I'm saying? Like I fought so long to make sure my children didn't have tablets. I'm like, nah, I want you guys to have books. I want you to have books. But then it's like we're homeschooling and certain of their programs, they need it to be digital. So I'm like, shit, I got to get my kid a tablet. I'm like, all right, you know what I mean? So like just that, it changes everything, right? Like even like imagine Dr. Sebi was, still alive, was able to put out an NFT. You know what that would do for the community, like health-wise? You get what I'm saying?
Come on, man. Yo.
Like, imagine a Dr. Sebi NFT. Like they couldn't stop him. You get what I mean?
But like this is what I like, man. Like the expansion of the ideas and seeing like the possibility and having that freedom to really explore what that looks like. This is exactly what it is. We might even have to have like a part 2 on this, man, because like it's already 12 and we've come up to the end of our session. But you know what I mean? But I feel like there's a need to have like a part 2, man. So like maybe we can all come back or whatever with some research and some new ideas and things to explore. Because like these virtual spaces are here to stay, you know what I mean? Like it's only a matter of time before we start having holograms where it's like we can just press a button and we all disappear like right here in my space. And when we're building, you know what I'm saying? No matter where we are on this planet, like distance, time, like that won't even matter anymore. You know what I mean? It's like, if we want to build, we can do that. So let's continue, man, to open up our minds, to expand, man, to really think about the possibilities. Especially because we have like the right intentions, you know what I mean? Like we're people of purpose. We're trying to leave legacy, man. We're trying to leave education. We're trying to empower. So that's what it really is, man. So big up to everyone who's come through, man. Shout out KSG 905, man, for sure. Make a part 2 for this meeting.
Oh, sure, yeah,
do that. All right, man. Shout out to everyone who's come through, man. This was an incredible build, man. Lots of education. You know what I mean? Shout out Derek Asante, I see you, man. Says, thank you, brothers, for the session. Very informative. Yeah, man. So yeah, man, we'll jump on this in part 2.
Hey, yo, I want to big up my brethren out in the UK. Johnny the Kid is in the house. Big up, UK. Family out there.
Today, man. Big up all you brothers too. It's just very important for us as brothers to have a space where we can build, we can communicate, we can enlighten, we can inspire. You know what I'm saying? It's important. Even if it's digital, we need the space. You know what I'm saying? So like, bless up Logic for even allowing us to be a part of this. You know what I mean? It's love, man.
Well, this is what I'm talking about, man. Well, Soul from Africa, like I said, man, Soul from Africa is a community movement. Like I said, it was already, the way how I envision Soul from Africa is like, under the like decentralized type of vibe. You know what I mean? So that's why we're all able to come through. Shout out Screwface View says respect, man. Great convo. KSG 905 says much love. I love this real talk. Shout out.
Yo, KNG? Did you just see KNG?
KSG 905, man.
I thought
big up Johnny the Kid 101 to respect my brothers. And like, man, we're continue to build, man, and expand and see how we can, plant our feet on solid ground. You know what I mean? Lots of times, like we're at the beginnings of innovations, and then things get snatched up, and we're not acknowledging this type of like way of being, and we can go right back to the origin. You know what I mean? Like imagine like all the things that were stolen from Africa, NFT, like, come on, bro. Like history, culture, religion, like everything's like, hold on, let's go back. Go back.
That's what, like, last thing I want to say, mentioning that, like, look at all the things that have been stolen from Africa, right? Like, you don't got to go far. You just look at museums and see everything that they've taken from us, right? But now with NFTs, we can create our own museums, you understand? And retake back all the shit that's been stolen from us and leave it there as a legacy and as you know, intelligence for the generations to come. You get what I mean?
It's like
Yeah.
NFTs are like the new, like, you know, like Egyptian, like, you know, like hieroglyphics. You know what I'm saying? Like
Facts.
the writing
Digital
on the
hieroglyphics.
walls. You feel me? That's what it is.
But this is the thing. This is the thing. I think they're gonna put every effort to create the same system. So like the NFT alone, that's why I keep saying with the community, because like how I realized, like, okay, Twitter, you could go on Twitter and find all kinds of toxic. Once I found like this global community, and when I know we already have this intention and so forth. So yeah, us pulling it together, and it's how we move that's gonna make the difference with NFTs. That's all I got to say.
So
Logic said something that was key. Not just how we move, but we have to move with the right minds. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody wants to support or be part of the community doesn't necessarily mean that they're a contributing mind. You know what I'm saying? And there's and you know, we have to be at a place where we realize that, accept that, and know how to maneuver around that. You know what I'm saying? Not every actor makes the screen. You get what I'm saying? So
there we go, man. All right, man. So we're gonna leave y'all with that, man. So yo, man, we're gonna continue this conversation next week, man, because this is a powerful build, and you know, this is like, again, like legacy. You know, like leaving intelligence, things that people can build on and connect with. You know what I mean? And really utilizing like technology. You know what I mean, for something positive. You know, and there's a lot of different angles, but I think, you know, it boils back down to like intention. You know what I mean? Like when you have like intention, man, you can just move mountains with that, and that's exactly what we're here for. This is a line, man. Like having, you know, two brothers here, man.